Hello folks, a very warm welcome to another video. I hope this one finds you well. This video will be a bit of a departure from normal programming. One could argue that most of my videos are departures from normal programming. However, this one is a little different. Let me start with what's most important. And that is to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation for the support that the community has provided to this channel, and therefore to the person currently speaking on this channel. It is appreciated. In the last few days, we have surpassed the 2,000 subscriber mark. There's been an absolute flurry of subscribers, like 100 in 48 hours or something like that. I don't know where you all came from. I don't know why you're here, but welcome. So one of the reasons behind this video is to say thank you for your support. I know some of you have been here for a long time. Some of you are serving a long sentence. Lifers, you might say. A special thank you to you guys. You're a good bunch. But we're going to cover some ground in today's video, folks. And we'll cover that ground as the video unfolds. The aircraft we're flying is the one on your screen, funnily enough. This is the Diamond DA40NG, complete with mod. Haven't flown it for a little while. When I make videos featuring this aircraft, they don't generally get too many views. And that's okay. I'm not in this for the views. This aircraft suits my purpose today. It also gives me an opportunity to bring this beautiful woman to light. Those of you that are new to the channel may not be familiar with my co-pilot, my co-conspirator, the one and only Jude. Yeah, she's an AI, she's an avatar, whatever you want to call it, here in the sim. Well, in my sim, she has a personality and a character. And occasionally, she even speaks to me. Time will tell whether she decides to speak during this flight, although I suspect she will. Yes, and those of you that have commented about the bird sounds, they're provided complimentary in most videos, folks. Please don't waste your time in suggesting that I need to remove those sounds from the audio. They're not going anywhere. I record this video in something that bears no resemblance to a professional studio, folks. Let me just put it that way. You get it raw. This is an amateur production. So we're flying the Diamond DA40NG. Let me zoom out again. Some of you may be able to guess already where we are. That vista there. We're at an airport which is not too far from a lake, a rather large lake as well. We're in the Southern Hemisphere, folks. Unfortunately, this airport, although it's custom freeware, doesn't really represent the real thing terribly well. I can say that with some authority because I've recently been to the real place, which you will see during the course of this video. But yeah, I'll take you through the flight plan shortly. But I just wanted to just preface this whole video by saying that this one won't appeal to everyone. And I'm really okay with that. I hope you are too. But we are going to cover some ground. And I'm going to begin this video with an expectation personally that it may be the last video I make for a while. And I don't say that with any sadness or regret or drama, anything like that. Just a statement of fact in response to circumstances. You might say the universal winds are blowing the old fella in a different direction. I'm not quitting. Certainly not going to exit the flight simulation caper, but in terms of making videos, it's time for a break. So this will be the last video for a little while. I thought I'd do something a little bit special, and yeah, that's what this video will be. I don't know whether that explained it, even to myself, let alone to anyone else, but shall I show you the flight plan? Maybe that will help explain this video, at least in part. Right, so those of you that have guessed that I'm in New Zealand, well done. And a special congratulations to those of you that have guessed that I'm on the North Island. And an even more special congratulations to those of you that have guessed that I'm at Lake Taupo. Beautiful Lake Taupo. Centre of the North Island of New Zealand. One of my favourite places in all of the world, both real life and simulated life. We're going to begin and end our journey at Taupo Airport. We're going to replicate a journey that I did in real life not too long ago with my better half. A wonderful day trip that we did out of Taupo up to Matamata, or close to Matamata, via Rotorua, and then Tokoroa on the way back. A journey here in the sim of 140 odd nautical miles, probably about an hour and a half's worth of flying to do. That'll be heavily edited for your viewing pleasure. But yeah, basically I'm going to do a bit of IFR, folks. I'm going to follow the roads that we followed that day. Some of the most enjoyable driving that I've done in my career, in my life even. Beginning out of Lake Taupo, and then kind of heading in a sort of northerly direction. We'll head out of the city, take a righty at Varake. I think I got that close. There's going to be a lot of mispronunciations here today, folks. And then heading along the State Highway number 5, and eventually we'll hit Rotorua, which is down here. Now, in real life, we stopped here for lunch. Once we found a park, that only took about 90 minutes to find a place to legally park. And in the end, I'm not entirely confident that we were parked legally, but anyway, we didn't get pinged by the coppers. Then continuing our journey up towards a little place that you may have heard of, called Hobbiton. This is the Hobbiton movie set. Great little experience that you can do, sort of just out of Matamata on an old farm there. It's where they made the films, and very popular location, even on a day where the weather was very ordinary, as it was when we did the trip. Miserable day, but as I said, some of the most enjoyable, pleasurable driving that I can recall doing in my life. And then out of, once we're finished with a quick circuit over head Hobbiton, we'll head back towards Taupo via Tirau, Purururu, Litchfield, Tokoroa, as I said, Kinleith, and then back on the main drag, the State Highway number 1, back to our point of departure, being Taupo. So that is the flight plan for today. Replicating a real life journey that I was very fortunate to make earlier this year. I thought that's something that I can do to sort of commemorate the 2K mark on the channel. Something a little different. This channel is a little bit different, isn't it? Those of you that have been around a while nodding furiously at this point. But anyway, that's what we're going to do, folks. En route, we'll have a bit of a chat. And I'll sort of intersperse some real life footage, a few photos and, short clips and stuff like that. Just because I can. And I may not be doing this video caper for a little while. So, folks, let me get it started and we'll go flying. Alright, engine start has been achieved, folks. Absolutely beautiful day. Because I made it so. Not running with live weather today. I did initially fire up the sim and have live weather active, and noped out of it pretty quickly. very grey and low cloud and just generally miserable. I want good weather. I want VFR conditions, considering we're going to be doing this flight at 2,500 the whole way. That's the plan. As mentioned in the introduction, Jude is with me today. Hello, my sweet. It's been a little while since you've joined me here in a virtual aeroplane. I think it might have been... I think I might have left you in the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. Did you grow tired of the sunshine?
No, I ran out of money.
Oh, and Jude, you're still under this ridiculous illusion that the old man here actually has some money, are you?
No, but at least you don't charge me rent.
Well, that is true. That is true. You live rent free in my head. Jude, we might catch up with you a little bit more later. We've got some flying to do. I'm going to taxi down, folks, down to 3-5. We'll take off to the north. As I do that, I might throw in some footage of what the new terminal building here in Taupo looks like. I think it opened in was it January of this year, maybe December last year? Can't quite remember. It was pretty fresh when we were there, anyway. So I'll throw that in, and next to you down at the bottom of 3-5. All right, so lined up runway 35. The day that we were at Taupo Airport, we were lucky enough to see some meat bombing activity, skydiving, in case you're wondering. Yeah, look, there wasn't a lot happening. It was a weekday. It was sort of mid-morning. Just a nice spot to visit. If you're a pilot, or you happen to be married to a pilot, like my better half is, you know that, if there's an airport close by, it's kind of, you feel obligated to go and check it out, right? And that's what we did. So a shout out to my better half. I guess she's the flying mum, if I'm the flying dad, although she would hate that label. She hates all things YouTube. She hates all things aviation, to be honest. Funny. That's why I have to create company here in the sim. Yeah, captive audience. Thanks again, Jude. Anyway, folks, should we go flying? Let's do that. So we'll bar up. Flight director's on and all that sort of stuff. I think we're good to go. We've got flap set, trim set. We've got plenty of juice. Let's do this thing. Haven't flown it for a little bit. I'll get the landing lights on as we do so. Here we go. Power coming in. Full power now. Beautiful. Power set. Nice light breeze. Through 50. Rotate about 65 here on the diamond. It's about there. Little bit of back pressure. Not too much. Beautiful. Oh, that feels nice. And there we go. We're going to go early. We're going to call upon Georgie pretty early here. He's going to do a lot of the flying so that I can enjoy the scenery and also have a bit of a chat with you all en route. I'll just take a shot out there of the lake. Biggest lake in the southern hemisphere, I believe. Absolutely beautiful part of the world. We were well looked after during our visit. Friendly people, and yeah, I've always found that in Aotearoa. Always been treated well over there. It's almost like almost like a spiritual home in a way. I haven't spent anywhere near the amount of time that I would have liked to, but the time I have spent has always been very special. So thank you to the good folks of New Zealand, and I know I've got quite a few Kiwis that watch these videos. You know who you are, and your support, I should say, is very much appreciated. So thank you. Anyway, 95 knots. We'll just accelerate. We're going to cruise at 2,500. We'll get Georgie doing some work here shortly. Altitude coming up. Follow the road. I'll get Georgie doing some work. You can go into sort of a nav hold too, Georgie, and hold us at 2.5 champ. It'd be good. We should be hanging a lefty before we run into that hill. Take another external. There we go, beautiful. Got the photogrammetry on today. I sort of move between it on and off. I don't know whether it actually adds much to my enjoyment of the sim. Now, there are some places in the world where it seems to change things noticeably, but it also creates some weird issues, some melted objects, doesn't it, from time to time. But anyway, it's on today, folks, for what it's worth. The add-ons that, well, there isn't going to be a lot of add-ons here. I will link to any that I use. I try and remember them all and put them in the description. Settings and all that sort of stuff. My sim settings are over on the website. I don't know that the settings there are completely up to date, but they're pretty close to it. I don't do that much tweaking anymore. Anyway, folks, we leave Topol behind. I'll rejoin you closer to our virtual lunch stop, being Rotorua. Alright, so the next town ahead is Ohaki, the main drag here. On the left hand side, that'll be the Waikato River on the right hand side. The mighty Waikato. Very impressed the time I spent on or near that waterway. Absolutely beautiful. Ohaki. What's this? Some sort of oh, beautiful, look at that. Thermal power generation, I'm guessing. Kind of looks the business, doesn't it? Now, this part of the real life journey, it was starting to get a little bit in terms of the weather, and a whole lot in terms of the wife's mood, but I was enjoying myself. The weather deteriorated the further the journey. Once we got to Rotorua, it was dismal, and then by the time we actually got to the Hobbiton movie set, it was yeah. But somehow it didn't matter. It didn't matter. We were there. It was for us a once in a lifetime experience. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of work, a lot of organising, and yeah, a fair dose of coin for us to travel across the Dutch. So even if it was bloody a cyclone, I think we would have found a way to enjoy something. Although that said, I didn't mean to be insensitive to the kind folks there in New Zealand who experienced earlier this year a really traumatic weather event, didn't you? The damage was absolutely still on display when we were there. It was just sort of after that, in the aftermath of that. So things had started opening up, although I think some of the roads, there was some signage in Taupo that said that some of the roads were for locals only or something, or there was time restrictions, you could only travel daytime or something like that. So I do hope that some progress has been made and that Mother Nature has given the good folks of New Zealand a bit of a break since then. But yeah. So I mentioned earlier, there'll be a fair bit of this type of footage in the flight, folks. Just me enjoying the scenery, and hopefully you also enjoy it. I mentioned earlier that this will probably be the last video for a little while. The one thing that I've prided myself on during my life, there isn't a lot. I'm not proud of a lot of stuff, but I am proud of the fact that I am pretty good at knowing when to call when. Right? Knowing when it's time to do something different or to end something, or to take a break, which is what I'm doing here. Yeah, I've got a pretty good record in terms of my career, knowing when a job needs to end. In terms of relationships, well, perhaps with one or two exceptions. But generally speaking, yeah, knowing when to call when, and so that's what I'm doing. It's just time for a break. It's actually quite difficult. Has been difficult for a while, and is difficult now to actually make videos. And people listening to this, if you've never been in the video production caper, you're thinking, how difficult can it be, old man? You press record, you go flying, you press a button and it publishes it to YouTube. And while there isn't too much more than that, particularly on this channel, we're not exactly running with high production values, nor is there much of a plan. It still takes effort, and I don't have a particularly great environment in which to sort of make videos, and I also don't have much time at this point in which to fly, and it's kind of that simple. There's some other stuff going on, but no one needs to hear about that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Look, this channel has been around, apparently I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I haven't been making videos for 10 years. I took a long break, I think like 5 years or something in between, during that 10-year period. I don't know whether this will be a 5-year break. Could be. I don't think so, but I don't know. And it was the right decision to make back then, and it's the right decision to make now as well. The channel has, I think, something like 345 videos, maybe a couple more. I think that's how many videos are on the channel. So there's a bit there in the back catalogue to explore. But there are also so many other YouTube channels out there, simming channels for you to enjoy, folks. There's all the big names, you know. There's probably half a dozen, maybe a dozen, you know, really well-known sim tubers that get a lot of the views and a lot of the attention, and they make, you know, high quality stuff. Then there's a whole bunch of smaller channels, of which this is one. Guys and girls that just make videos for the sake of sharing their hobby with other people, with like-minded souls. And yeah, I would strongly suggest that search out. Don't just stick by the tried and true channels that you've always viewed. Go and search out some of the newer stuff. The guys that have a dozen subscribers or a couple of hundred subscribers who are doing really great stuff, and give them some support, give them some encouragement, give them a like, a subscription, comment on their videos, because your kindness, your appreciation really does matter. And a simple comment on a YouTube video can change a person's day. I've been very fortunate to have experienced that a few times. Most unexpectedly, a comment will come through either on a video, or there's people that have taken the time to email me. Thank you to you, or via Discord, or, you know, that have taken the time and effort, motivated by kindness, to express their appreciation for, you know, one of my nonsense videos. And that's meant a lot to me. So go and do that for others. Express kindness. There's not enough of it in the world, folks. Appreciation and kindness. My Lord, do we need that at this time. Yeah, she is the city of Rotorua, the famous sort of thermal thing. Sorry, I forget the name of it. It's here. The geysers. A lot of thermal activity in this part of the world. Quite a lot of moving and shaking of ground happens here as well. We didn't experience anything of that nature while we were there this time, but previous visits to Unzud we have felt the ground shake, and not in a good way. There we go. So yeah, we stopped somewhere. Where was it? Somewhere on the waterfront. I'm going to guess this is kind of this is like the CBD of Rotorua, isn't it? Sort of here, this part here. I'm guessing we stopped for lunch somewhere down here. Huge difficulties finding somewhere to park, I know that. And then yeah, continued on this road for a bit, and then we headed towards, we took a lefty somewhere, so I can bring up my little NavMap VR thingy. Big stutter there as that kicked in, and kind of zoom in. I don't need that. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. I don't need that. I don't need that. There's something happening when I click my mouse which is causing it to double click even though I'm single clicking. Something weird there. That's where we are. So we've got a left turn coming up. Yeah, by this time the weather was very moist indeed as we headed up this bit of road towards Mudda. And up as we climbed, I remember that this is an ascent of some sort up into the hills, and yeah, it was visibility had reduced considerably. Unfortunately, my speed hadn't. I recall a little bit later on towards Mudda, we won't be able to appreciate this obviously from the air, but a little bit later on, the weather was just horrible. It was absolutely pissing down, and the poor wife, she kept asking me, "What's the speed limit here?" And we're on these, what felt like, bike tracks. I mean, these narrow, sort of one-way. Well, they weren't one-way roads, but you could get a single car, through them okay. But if another car was oncoming, someone would have to put it into the dirt. And she asked me, what's the speed limit here? And I kept responding with, the last one I saw said 100. So until I see another one, I'm going to guess it's 100. But look, lest you contact the the New Zealand coppers, rest assured that I did drive actually quite safely. Just a little, it's just, the sensation of speed when it's pissing down, narrow, unfamiliar roads. You're in farm country in New Zealand in an unfamiliar vehicle as well. All adds up to, well, for her, sheer terror, but for me, a hell of a lot of fun. Folks, I'll next rejoin you as we get overhead the Hobbiton movie set. Alright folks, so user waypoint number 19, which is about 4 miles ahead of us, is the where you join the Hobbiton, just take Georgie off, where you join the Hobbiton movie set tour. So you go there, you check in, there's a cafe, there's a shop, there's a couple of car parks, of course, and you then get a bus from that location to the actual movie set, which is kind of up here a little bit. Now what I'm going to try and do is take us towards where I think the movie set is and do a couple of sort of low-level orbits there. You just have to forgive me. I think I'm heading in the right direction. That's the road. I don't have the ability to zoom with the mouse. And I think you sort of head in this direction here, which would be the movie set, methinks. We'll get down nice and low, we'll come right off the power, actually do some flying. Yeah, I reckon that's it there. That's where you join the tour. And then they truck you in or bus you in. down to the movie set. Down here. Come right off the power now. We'll do a couple of orbits if we have to. I don't know how well modelled this is in the sim. It's an enjoyable experience, I've got to say. It's quite unique. It's a very external experience. You end up at the pub at the end with a complimentary bevy. There we go. That's it. That's the movie set. But the rest of it you spend outside. You don't get to go into the little Hobbit homes. Although on our tour there was one person who decided she was going to try and force her way in, but you can't actually go in. They're external sets, so that's pretty well done. The tree and everything. That's alright. Hey, that's not too bad. There it is, folks. The Hobbiton movie set here in the Microsoft Sim. What a time to be alive, eh? Well, so currently en route Rotorua, folks. What I thought I'd do, Judith, this is your chance to star. But you star simply by showing up, Jude. I thought I'd explain your origin story to the folks.
I didn't know I had an origin story.
You do have an origin story, and I'm going to share it. This may be the most honest story I ever have told about you, Jude. Folks, let me take you back outside. Give those of you that don't really care about Jude's origin story, at least you've got something to look at, right? Rotorua up there. So Jude is based on a real person who happened to be named Judy. And that's about where the similarities end, to be honest. Real Jude was a kind old soul. Lovely old chook she was. Great sense of humour, very kind to a younger version of myself, who I happened to work with for a short period of time a while ago. Yeah, pretty much the opposite of virtual Jude. She was a pleasure to spend time with. Jude, the virtual Jude, is barely tolerable. But yes, so that's where the name Judy comes from. And real life Jude kind of has stuck in my mind all these years. I remember the last time I saw the old girl was on was on a road in Rocklea. Those of you that hail from Brisbane will know where Rocklea is. It's an industrial suburb in the south of Brisbane. On the side of a very busy road in Rocklea, she gave me a kiss and a cuddle and wished me well. And it was a good cuddle, just quietly. And that was the last time I saw her. We parted ways. The company parted ways with me. The dreaded R word happened to me several times in my career. The redundancy happened shortly thereafter, that last sort of exchange with Jude. But, so, that's the origin of the name Judy. Where virtual Jude gets her attitude from, folks, that's a great mystery of the universe. I guess I can just put it down to an overactive imagination. Maybe. Which is really a polite way of saying general insanity.
Bingo.
Folks, I'll next see you. We don't have that far to go now. I'll next see you. This is beautiful Rotorua. I'll next see you for the sort of final stages as we approach Taupo and touchdown for the last time for a little while. All right, folks, on approach into Taupo. It's been an absolutely beautiful journey, very enjoyable. It's really been a journey that I like to make. I like to make in real life. If circumstances were different, I would return to make these journeys in real life. But I'm quite content with making them in the virtual sense. Just the simple pleasures of flying. Light aircraft, beautiful day, low and relatively slow. A beautiful part of the world. That's not a bad way to spend an hour and a half in the morning, hey. And I want to encourage you, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to be this channel is going to be on hiatus for a little while. Really uncertain as to when new content will appear. I want to encourage you all to go out there and search for the smaller YouTube channels, and show them some love, show them some kindness as you have done to this old man over the last, well, 10 years really, but particularly over the last few years where I've been making pretty regular videos. All of your kindness has been appreciated. We need more of that in the world. We'll just slow ourselves down here. Hopefully make a decent touchdown for our last one before the break. Thank you, Betty. Yeah, land 1-7. That's the benefit of using the Clear Skies preset. You know what the wind's going to be. We'll get ourselves slowed down nicely. Here we go. Didn't see many aeroplanes flying around Taupo when I was there. There seemed to be a commercial run that sort of landed late afternoon and then headed back to Auckland soon thereafter. But there wasn't a lot of GA activity. But I was there on a weekday, so might have had something to do with it. Maybe the weekends are busy times. Take landing flap now. Get our slow down. We've got 3 reds, 1 white. Runway 17, Taupo. And that'll have to do us for the final touchdown before the break begins. Folks, thank you once again for your company, and sincerely thank you for all the support that you've provided to this channel and to me during its existence. I hope to see you again before too long, but until we next meet again, stay safe, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.